Sister Idra was 3 days dead when House Vane reached the first capital road. Aldric, Seraphine, Cael, Wren, Lyra, Ceryn, the envoy, and the Vane riders carried the Bellglass map west under blank banners, because a house in rebellion learns quickly which symbols make men aim. The royal city did not rise like a promise. It rose like a correction, white towers above mud, bells above hunger, nursery windows above the chancery cellars where old names went to be made useful. Lyra slept badly in the carriage. When the wheels crossed old buried stones, her hand closed around nothing, and the broken circle in her palm answered with a heat too small for anyone but Seraphine to notice.
Look at me, little heart. If the mark speaks, you answer me first, not it.
It is not speaking today. It is listening, and I think that is worse.
The envoy rode behind Aldric with his crown pin wrapped in cloth. He had been an officer of the thing they were about to enter, and shame had made him more honest than courage ever had. The Chancery has 3 public doors and 9 honest lies about the 4th. The 4th door is for clerks, wet nurses, and men who are not supposed to be remembered.
Then that is our door. We have spent too many years bleeding in rooms built for noblemen.
At dusk they entered the river quarter in a rain that made every lantern look guilty. Ceryn watched the palace ridge from beneath her hood, and Wren watched Ceryn instead.
You have been quiet since Bellglass. You are quiet when you have already decided something terrible.
That is unkindly accurate. It is also one of the reasons I am proud of you.
They hid in the cellar of a cooper who had once sent barrels to House Orelle before the house was erased. The cooper did not ask for payment. He asked whether Lady Ceryn still remembered the old sea hymn.
I remember the first verse. I have forgotten the merciful parts, but then so did the realm.
Before midnight, the envoy drew the river gate in spilled flour on the cellar table. Seraphine corrected the angles twice. Aldric said nothing until the map looked enough like a wound.
The Nursery Wing sits above the archive because the Crown wanted innocence over evidence. It is not architecture, Aldric. It is theater.
Then we will come through beneath the stage. Let the audience wonder why the actors stop smiling.
Cael sharpened his knife beside the rain barrel. Wren sat across from him and braided her hair back with hands that did not shake until she thought no one was watching.
If this goes wrong, you leave with Lyra. Do not argue with me in the corridor when a corridor is trying to kill us.
If this goes wrong, I will leave with Lyra and hate you properly later. Do not mistake obedience for forgiveness.
The river gate opened before dawn. It did not groan. Old guilty doors are oiled more carefully than honest ones. The envoy spoke the first password. Seraphine spoke the second, though no one had taught it to her. She had read it from the shape of the Bellglass map and the order in which frightened men avoid certain words. That word is supposed to be dead. I have heard clerks dismissed for knowing less.
Then walk softly. We are all overqualified for execution this morning.
The passage under the river smelled of wet lime, old candle smoke, and milk gone sour. On the walls, shallow niches held empty cradles too small for children and too carefully carved for storage.
They are not cradles. They are places for names before bodies catch up.
Do not look at them too long. Some things are designed to make pity open the wrong lock.
They reached the first clerk post and found no clerk, only a chair turned toward the wall and a bowl of ink that had skinned over without drying.
We keep moving. Empty rooms are not mercy. They are invitations.
Above them, the palace woke in layers. Servants rang small bells. Guards changed posts. Somewhere, children sang a counting rhyme about 5 windows and no door. Wren stopped under the nursery stair. Her face had gone pale in a way Cael had never seen in battle, because courage understands swords better than recognition.
My grandmother told me that rhyme. She told me it was from the coast. She lied to make me sleep.
I did not lie to make you sleep. I lied because I was not ready to tell a child that a house had been used as a lullaby for prisoners.
The nursery wing was beautiful. That was the cruelty of it. White curtains, painted birds, bowls of sugared fruit, tiny shoes in a straight line by the hearth. There were no royal children in the beds. There were ledgers under the mattresses, and each blanket had been folded over a carved wooden token where a sleeping child should have been.
They kept places for us. Not us exactly, but for whoever they needed us to become.
Do not touch the tokens. Aldric, look at the floor.
Aldric looked down and saw the road Lyra had drawn in her sleep, a square with 3 windows and no door, set into the nursery floor in black stone.
I am beginning to resent how often our enemies expect my daughter to open things. Seraphine, take her back 2 paces.
It already knows I am here. Moving me 2 paces only teaches it I am afraid.
Seraphine did not move Lyra. She put one hand on her daughter's shoulder and the other on the knife hidden inside her sleeve, because mothers sometimes bless decisions by preparing to murder the room around them. The envoy found the nursery register in a drawer beneath a painted moon. He opened it with 2 fingers, as if the book were warm.
These are not births. These are assignments. Some are royal. Most are not.
Read the Orelle page. If I am to die today, I prefer not to do it while ignorant.
The envoy read silently at first. Then Wren took the book from him and found the place where her family had been turned from a house into a reserve of possible heirs.
They did not erase us because we were dangerous. They erased us because they wanted to keep us unused.
Unused for what? Tell me the word, Wren, before I start guessing.
For replacement. For a child who could wear a crown after the crown misplaced its own blood.
The room answered her. Not with voice. With pressure. The 3 window stones brightened from beneath, and the air began to smell of rain on paper. A hidden panel opened where no door had been. Beyond it was a room not larger than a chapel crypt, and in the center of it stood a low black table beneath a hole in the ceiling. Above the hole, far overhead, was the throne room. Every vow sworn above had been falling through that opening for generations.
There it is, the table beneath the throne.
No. There is the mouth. The thing that eats through it is still elsewhere.
The table had no writing on it. That was worse than writing. Its surface was clean black stone, polished by hands that had never needed to leave evidence.
It wants me to put my palm there. It is pretending that wanting is the same as asking.
Then it has misunderstood my house. No one asks my children questions in stone.
The corridor behind them filled with soft feet. Not guards. Nurses. 6 women in grey aprons came down the stair with empty arms and faces trained into kindness. Seraphine saw the knives first. Cael saw the spacing. Wren saw that one of the women had Orelle eyes.
My lord, the river post has gone silent. We have minutes, not hours.
Then spend them well. No one touches Lyra, and no one leaves Wren behind.
The fight in the nursery was quiet because nurseries are built to swallow noise. Cael took the first knife on his bracer. Seraphine opened the second woman's sleeve and cut what was hidden there. Ceryn did not fight. She walked to the black table while younger bodies made a wall for her, and every step made Wren understand more than she wanted to.
Grandmother, no. Whatever you have decided, undo it.
I cannot undo what was done to us. I can only choose where the correction begins.
Ceryn placed both hands on the table. The stone took her reflection first, then her shadow, then the old sea grey of her eyes.
It is hurting her. Father, it is taking her name apart.
Let it. My name has carried Wren long enough, and I am tired of letting children be the safest place to hide a house.
The table tried to write Wren. Ceryn gave it Ceryn instead. Not a substitute. A challenge. A matriarch standing in the mouth of an office and making old lore choke on courtesy.
Ceryn, look at me. Stay with my voice if there is any road left in you.
There is no road left for me, Lady Vane. There is only the one I am buying for her.
The nursery windows shattered inward without wind. Above them, the throne room bells rang once, though no coronation had been called and no king had touched the robe. Aldric reached for Ceryn and found the table would not let him cross the last step. It recognized command and refused it. It recognized sacrifice and opened.
Ceryn Orelle, I will not spend your death as if it were coin. I will name it correctly where the realm can hear.
Then name Wren living. That will be enough.
The black table cracked from one window to the next. Wren screamed once, not like a court girl or an heir or a witness, but like a child whose last roof had chosen to burn. Ceryn smiled at her. It was not peaceful. Peace had never suited her. It was satisfied, and for Ceryn Orelle, that was kinder. Then the table took the rest of her name and failed to take Wren's.
No. Give her back, you cowardly stone. Give her back and take the crown that taught you manners.
Wren, we have to move. Hate me for saying it while you are breathing.
The envoy found the underthrown latch in the crack Ceryn had made. Behind it, wrapped in oilcloth, was a narrow book of living assignments, children not born yet, heirs not chosen yet, death scheduled as if they were harvests. This is enough to burn the nursery from the inside. This is enough to make every noble house count its children tonight.
Then carry it. If you drop it, I will not need the crown to correct you.
They left by the servant stair Wren had predicted in Bellglass. Aldric went last, because a lord who lets others die for doors learns to close them himself. At the river gate, the Vel captain held the last post with 3 riders and a wound he pretended was rain. He smiled when he saw the book, because soldiers recognize victories too ugly for songs.
My lord, the bridge is open for another minute. After that, I recommend the river and sincere prayer.
I have never been good at sincere prayer. Hold the bridge.
They crossed under arrows that had not yet been ordered and bells that had not yet agreed on what crime to announce. Behind them, smoke rose from the nursery wing in pale threads. Wren carried nothing. That was how Cael knew the grief had gone deep. Wren always carried proof. Now proof had become a body they could not retrieve.
Do not comfort me. If anyone comforts me before I decide what I am, I may believe them.
Then I will stand here and be useless. I can do that faithfully for as long as you require.
Lyra did not cry until they were outside the city wall. When she did, she cried quietly into Seraphine's cloak, and the broken circle in her palm stayed dark.
Grandmother Ceryn made it stop looking for Wren. I could feel it turn away.
Then we will remember her for that before we remember the wound. The wound is loud enough without our help.
By noon, the capital had 3 official stories. A kitchen fire. A false Vane raid. A necessary correction in the nursery wing. None of the stories mentioned Ceryn Orelle, because the office had failed to keep her and did not know how to admit loss. Aldric sent the living assignment book in for copies before sunset. He sent one to Lord Vell, one to Talonmar, one to the coast, and one to a monastery that had never forgiven the crown for learning to read.
We are past accusation now. Every house with a child will understand this language before breakfast.
And the crown will call you a butcher of nurseries. It will say you brought knives to cradles.
Then we answer with the book. Cradles are what the crown brought knives to first.
That night, they camped in an abandoned toll house beside the western road. Ceryn's cloak lay folded near the fire because Wren had not yet decided whether touching it would break her or keep her whole.
She should have let me choose. I was old enough to choose.
Yes. She stole that from you because she loved you, and because old people are unbearable when they are right.
Wren laughed once. It sounded like a flint striking in a flooded room. Then she put Ceryn's cloak around her shoulders and did not take it off. In the morning, Galvan's old archive cipher arrived by rider, but Galvan himself did not. The message was simple enough for fear to carry without ornament. The nursery table was only one of 3 mouths. One mouth under the throne. One under the crown chapel. One under the room where dead queens were dressed for burial.
Then the office was never a place. It was a habit with architecture.
And habits can be broken. Slowly, publicly, and with enough witnesses that no one mistakes silence for peace.
Lyra stood at the toll house window and drew on the dusty sill. Not a broken circle. Not a road. 3 squares this time, connected by a line that stopped before it reached her.
It cannot find me the same way now. But it is learning another way.
Aldric looked west toward the chapel road, then east toward the smoke that still marked the capital. For the first time, the war had more doors than he had hands to close. He turned to Wren. Not to comfort her. Not to command her. To ask the question the office had spent generations preventing erased houses from hearing.
Lady Orelle, where does your house go next? I will not command a road your grandmother died to buy.
To the Crown Chapel. My grandmother bought me a road. I intend to use all of it.
So House Vane did not return to Iron Vane. They turned south before the bells could agree on their guild, carrying a living assignment book, a child whose mark had gone dark, and an heir whose grief had become direction. Behind them, beneath the throne, the cracked black table cooled around the shape of Ceryn's hands. It had no writing on it. It had no name. It had, for the first time in its long obedience, a scar. Somewhere under the crown chapel, another mouth opened. Somewhere in the room where dead queens were dressed, a lamp lit by itself. And somewhere in the office that was not a place, a clerk reached for a fresh page and found the corner already torn away.